Skull Nation, stop everything. US Bank Stadium just got rocked by a triple shockwave that will define this entire offseason. And the first number you need to hear is $12 million. The receiver coach's love is about to walk out the door, chased by 10-plus teams. The quarterback situation just got flipped upside down by a Cardinals bombshell that nobody saw coming. And a pass rush weapon that terrorized offenses is being shopped to 5 hungry franchises right now. If US call louder than you breathe, hit like and stay locked, because the next 4 minutes will decide what kind of Vikings fan you really are. The first story hits hard and it hits now. And trust me, the third one will change how you see this entire roster. Whispers. That's how it started. Quiet conversations in Indianapolis hallways. Scouts leaning into each other at the combine. Voices dropping low whenever one name came up. And then the number dropped. $12 million. $15 million. Per year. The name everyone is talking about? Jalen Nailor. And Viking Nation, the hard truth is, Minnesota might already be watching him pack his bags. Here's what makes this hurt. Jalen Nailor is 27 years old. He just turned 27. And league sources told Alec Lewis of The Athletic that more than 10 teams are already circling him like vultures on the first day of free agency. 10 teams. Not 2. Not 4. 10. For a guy who has never caught more than 69 passes in a single NFL season and never cracked 450 yards. Let that sink in. The market doesn't care about what you've done. The market cares about what evaluators believe you can do. And right now, one NFC executive put the vision out there in plain language. He could see Nailor producing an 80-catch season in the near future. 80 catches. That's not a depth receiver. That's a number 2 target on almost every roster in the league. The Vikings know what they have. Receivers coach Keenan McCardle has watched this kid grow from raw speed merchant to a genuine route runner who can absorb a complex playbook, block in the run game, and create separation against press coverage. That's a rare combination. The coaches don't want to lose him. The front office doesn't want to lose him. But wanting and affording are two completely different conversations. And Minnesota is still fighting to get under the salary cap before the new league year even begins. This is not a team that walks into free agency with open checkbooks. The comparison that should sting every Vikings fan? Darius Slayton. The Giants receiver signed a 3-year deal worth $36 million a couple of seasons ago, and he is not the player Jalen Nailor is projected to become. If Nailor commands a 3-year deal averaging between $12 and $15 million annually, Minnesota simply cannot compete with 10 franchises ready to hand him a WR2 contract and a WR2 role immediately. The path to a bigger role with the Vikings runs directly through a Jordan Addison trade, and league sources say that conversation has gone ice cold lately. Without that door opening, Nailor stays behind Addison in the depth chart, collects fewer targets, and produces numbers that don't justify a raise. Why would he accept that? He shouldn't. This is one of the clearest losses of this offseason taking shape in real time. Does Minnesota find a way to surprise everyone? Drop your take below. Type stay if you think they match the market, or type gone if you think Nailor plays elsewhere in 2026. And smash that like button, because what comes next is the story that is going to set Viking Nation absolutely on fire. Here it is, the bombshell that landed in the middle of a Wednesday and rearranged the entire Vikings quarterback conversation in a matter of hours. The Arizona Cardinals are releasing Kyler Murray, and they are paying him more than $36 million to walk out the door. More than $36 million. Gone. Off Murray's new contract, which means whoever signs Kyler Murray next year is getting one of the most electric quarterbacks of his generation for roughly $2 million on a veteran minimum deal. Let's talk about what that means for Minnesota specifically. The Vikings quarterback situation is not a secret. J.J. McCarthy was objectively, painfully, statistically poor in virtually every measurable category last season. That's not an attack. That's just the ledger. After missing his entire rookie year with a knee injury and then fighting through availability questions in 2025, McCarthy has not yet proven he can carry this offense. And allowing him another unproven season means gambling with Justin Jefferson's prime years. Kevin O'Connell understands the math. The front office understands the math. You do not waste a generational receiver waiting for a quarterback to develop. Now enter Kyler Murray. Career completion percentage above 67%, 121 career touchdown passes, a former MVP-level performer who was consistently hamstrung by a poorly run organization and a roster that never gave him enough weapons. Put Kyler Murray in a room with Justin Jefferson. Put Kyler Murray in Kevin O'Connell's creative offensive system. Put Kyler Murray in front of a US Bank Stadium crowd going absolutely berserk on a cold January night. That is not a rebuilding story. That is a legitimate contender story. And here's where the division picture becomes crystal clear. Jordan Love is making $55 million a year in Green Bay. Jared Goff accounts for a $70 million cap hit in Detroit. Caleb Williams is still on his rookie deal in Chicago, but entering year 3 with questions. Minnesota signs Murray for near nothing against the cap, keeps their flexibility, builds around Jefferson, and walks into the NFC North conversation as the team with the best quarterback value in the entire division. The teams they're chasing are handcuffed by massive quarterback contracts. The Vikings would be free. This is a rumor that is gaining serious heat. Insiders say Murray has more than a clue about where the opportunity exists, and Minnesota's interest has never been a well-kept secret. Is Kyler Murray the quarterback who finally unlocks what this roster is truly capable of? Comment Skull Murray if you're on board, or stick with JJ if you believe in the incumbent. The debate is live. But hold on, because while the Vikings figure out their quarterback room, another piece of this roster is being shopped around the league, and 5 franchises are already calling. The phone is ringing in Minnesota 5 times, 5 different teams, 5 different conversations about the same player. His name is Jonathan Greenard, and the Vikings are listening to every single offer. The asking price? A day 2 draft pick. And with the salary cap forcing hard decisions in every corner of the building, this trade could happen before you finish watching this video. Greenard is 30 years old and coming off a 2025 season that didn't hit the heights of his dominant 2024 campaign. But here's what any contending team buying him understands. In the right defensive system, with the right alignment, Greenard is a game wrecker. He gets after the quarterback. He collapses the pocket from the edge. He makes offensive coordinators adjust their entire protection scheme. That's not a backup. That's not depth. That is a chess piece that changes how you build a defense. Now let's look at who's calling. The Carolina Panthers have young pass rushers developing, but need that star-adjacent presence to elevate the room. The New England Patriots have cap space and Mike Vrabel running the defense. And Vrabel's system is made for a player with Greenard's skill set, especially if Max Crosby slips through their fingers. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have needed edge help for what feels like multiple seasons, and Todd Bowles is coaching for his job right now. Every move he makes has urgency behind it. The Buffalo Bills shuffled pieces around Josh Allen again this offseason, and the pass rush was underwhelming last year. Greenard walking into that building gives Josh Allen's supporting cast another weapon on the other side of the ball. And sitting at number 1 on this list? The Washington Commanders, who just hired former Vikings defensive backs coach Durante Jones as their new defensive coordinator. Jones knows Greenard. He knows how he plays, how he prepares, how he fits into a defense. Washington paying a heavy price for a player their coordinator has already built trust with is not just possible. It's the most logical trade in the market right now. This is what cap-squeezed off-seasons look like. You don't always get to keep everyone. Sometimes the hard choice is moving a quality player to create breathing room and draft capital at the same time. The question is whether the return is worth the loss and whether the Vikings can replace that edge production with a younger, cheaper option in the draft. 3 stories, 1 earthquake. Jalen Nailor is being chased by 10 teams and Minnesota is priced out. Kyler Murray is a free agent for roughly $2 million, and the Vikings are the most logical landing spot in the league. And Jonathan Greenard is being shopped with 5 legitimate suitors already circling for a day 2 pick. This offseason is not a slow build. It is a sprint, and every decision made in the next 14 days reshapes what this team looks like when the season kicks off. Here's the full picture. If the Vikings land Kyler Murray at veteran minimum, they gain a legitimate franchise quarterback without crippling their cap. That breathing room allows them to be aggressive elsewhere. They take the hit of losing Naylor, draft a wide receiver in the middle rounds to develop, and use the Greenard trade return to move up or add depth in a draft class loaded with edge talent. Suddenly, a roster that looked fractured starts looking calculated. Suddenly, Kevin O'Connell has the quarterback to prove his offensive genius. Suddenly, Justin Jefferson isn't waiting anymore. He's producing in October, November, January. The NFC North is not going anywhere. Green Bay is locked. Detroit believes in itself. Chicago is building. But neither Love nor Goff nor Williams is operating with the freedom that comes from a $2 million quarterback cap hit. Minnesota has a window here that requires perfect execution. Miss on Murray and the quarterback question lingers into another brutal season. Win on Murray and this division just shifted. Here's what Viking Nation needs to do right now. Smash that like button if you believe Kyler Murray in a Vikings uniform is the move that changes everything. 2. Drop your boldest 2026 prediction in the comments. Are the Vikings winning the NFC North? Making a Super Bowl run? Or is this another year of hard lessons? 3. Subscribe, because every subscriber is one more voice making Packers kingdom and Lions fans nervous about what's being built at US Bank Stadium. But here's where the cliff drops off. Murray has not signed anywhere yet. The next 48 hours are critical, and league sources say multiple teams are preparing offers. If Minnesota hesitates, if they overthink the cap math one more time, another franchise swoops in and hands Murray exactly what he's looking for. The window does not stay open, and on top of that, the Greenard trade has a twist developing behind the scenes. One of those 5 teams reportedly increased their offer overnight, and a decision could come before the new league year officially opens. Which domino falls first? The quarterback who could save this season, or the pass rusher being moved to fund it? Skull Nation, the next move defines everything. Subscribe, stay locked, and let's take back the North together.